Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash. And I'm going to entitle this video GMS Thinking Out Loud, or Tahar Thinking Out Loud. I'm just going to go with the spirit. Anyway, this video I put up last night, Cape Coast Castle, Revelation 13, 9, and 10. Very short, relatively short video, almost 30 minutes long. I just got some general information from Google will send me to Wikipedia, give me the history on a Cape Coast Castle. And the first scripture that popped in my head was Revelation 13, verses 9 and 10. So I said, let me do a video on it. And I went back and watched it from the beginning. I said, this is a pretty good video. Not super deep, but I was reading a lot of the information, and certain precepts came to mind. Most of them I quoted. I think all of them I quoted. Anyway, after this video, I came across a video. Let me see something. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, it's 9:49. Okay, Sakari. Our arch enemies, the Sakari. Anyway, this is a Sakari page. We have a history of cursing each other out and then being cool with each other. We'll curse each other out for about a month, and then we'll be cool with each other for about 6 months. Anyway, this was put up 8 hours ago. In-depth look at Abba Bivens, One West founder, book Mark of a Lost Race, Black History Month. And this guy, he does a crazy day. The motherfuckers went 5 hours in. 5 hours, almost 6 hours. Because I did believe they read the whole book. And I was kind of listening in, watching the video, and I started putting in precepts. So they saw me and they mentioned the precepts that I was, not precepts, but comments. And because there were certain people saying certain things about the history with Yaikwab and Ariar back in the day, and I would kind of correct them. Somebody said that Yaikwab and Ariar was taught back in Florida. I told him that no, Ariar wasn't born then. This is when Yaikwab was a young man. He showed me a picture when he at that age. He was a young man. He had to be in his, I guess mid-20s, and but we heard stories about Abba Bivens. Oh, and I made a comment that the first week in the school, you had a lot of pictures all over the school, spiritual pictures, and you had a handful of pictures in the back of Elder Abba. I call him Elder Abba. And when I saw the picture, I saw the picture of him and High Priest Ariel when he was 12 years old. And then I saw a picture of him holding a gigantic Torah. And there were some brothers around me. And I said, who's this guy? Elijah? And they kind of looked at me like, oh man, how did this guy know that this guy was supposed to be Elijah? Because when I saw the picture, I said, in my mind, newly coming into the truth, in my mind, I said, if they made a movie about Elijah, this would be the perfect guy to play Elijah. Because to me, he looked like Elijah. You know, we don't know what Elijah looked like, but to me, he looked like Elijah. You know what? Let me. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, so I put the comment in there. So there was, and then they told High Priest Ariel, they said, you know, this guy right here, they didn't even know my name really. He looked at the picture of Abba and he said that he said, what is Elijah doing up on the wall? And Ariel kind of gave me that look, you know, his eyes popped open and, oh shit, you know, that type of attitude. So, I mean, now when I put that comment up, I believe if I remember, Elazar said, he quoted, what is that, either Matthew 16 or Matthew 18. I always get them confused. Matthew, let's try 16. Scroll down. Okay, yes, it is Matthew 16. It's also in Mark 8 and Luke 9. We always go to Matthew 16. Let me go right to the point. All right, 13th verse. When Yahushua came in to the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And when he said the Son of Man, he was talking about, you know, a man on the earth. Son of Man meaning a man on the earth. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, which they believe that is a thing called resurrection, which is biblical. So they said, well, this was John the Baptist. They jailed him. Herod had his head chopped off by Salome's words, which was the mother of Salome was Herodias, which she was having an adulterous act because she was married to Philip, the brother of that particular Herod. So John the Baptist cursed them out, even though they were Edomites. Because if they were Edomites that call themselves Israelites keeping the law, they got to keep the law, you know? And that shows you that they're not the people of the Most High. It says, and they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias. Well, guess what? John the Baptist and Elias is the same people. And for IUCPK out there, if you're listening, John the Baptist never fell out the truth. Never fell out the truth. And others, Jeremiah, one of the prophets or one of the prophets. So right there, the people looking at Yahushua understood reincarnation. He saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Messiah, the Son of the living power. Then Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar Jonas, meaning Bar is Aramaic for son of. Jonah is the father of Peter. Because your name, part of your name, your father was up in there. If you had a father named Joe, you would say, my name is Bill, the son of Joe. It says, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. That's all I need on that. So when I saw the picture of Abba Bivens, and I immediately identified him with Elijah, I mean, I could have said any prophet's name, but I said Elijah, not knowing what I said. So that was through the Spirit. My wife, my woman, which sometimes I call my demon, she met High Priest Ariah and High Priest Masha, because we used to call him Mo back there. And she met him one time, for about 2 seconds. And she had at least one dream. I think she had more than one dream, but the time that she had a dream, she would always see Masha, and she would always hear a voice behind him saying, King David, King David. And I never told her the history about Masha being King David. But she even forgot the name Masha. She just described him. He's an older man, dark skinned. So she described Masha. And that was during the time when there was a whole lot of mess going on in the school. And eventually the split came from out of that. So we have a deep history, So changing gears, going back to the video. Going back to the video, this is the video right here, in-depth look at Abba Bivens. One was found the bookmark of a lost race, which was a video that really opened up our eyes because we didn't know about this book. Oh, also I said on this video, Abba Bivens wrote another book called A Change of Worlds. And I used to distribute that book out. I believe I may have a copy, but it's somewhere under a bunch of other stuff. I mean, if I find it, I find it. As a matter of fact, I think I sold the book or gave the book to the brother that was a part of Tony, the brother with the dreadlocks, which was Wiggins, I believe his name is Dwayne Wiggins. Somebody can put that in the comment section. I know his name was Wiggins, brother with the, he did this, he went solo and he did this remake rendition of a Blood on the Leaves by Billie Holiday. It was like a jazzy version of Blood on the Leaves. Anyway, he came to the table, and I had cassettes, videos and so forth, and books, and I was dealing with oils and incense. And he purchased a few things, and I didn't know that it was him until he left. And a brother Samak Bond, he was just saying, that was this guy from Tony. And I said, oh shit, that was him, because I couldn't place his face, So he knows he's an Israelite. I met the lead singer from what's the name of that damn group? They did the God damn it. Let me do this. Let me do this. It'll come to me. But if it don't, Let me see. What the hell? Bear me for a minute. They did that cut circles. Atlantic Star. They had the lead, Robert Lowe. I ran into him. I gave him, I didn't sell him. I gave him a video cassette. So he knows he's an Israelite. So there's a lot of Jakes out there in the world that know that they're Israelites. You'd be surprised how many Jake celebrities, and for that matter, Edomite celebrities, know about this truth or identify themselves secretly with being an Israelite. Well, a good example is Nicodemus. He was a secret disciple of Yahweh Shai. Joseph of Arimathea, you can say he was a secret disciple of Yahweh Shai. And this fame, we're getting this fame. Put in the word fame. Oh, and the water to Maccabees TV for offering me by email the what is that, the PDF, we call it PDF file of the book. Yeah, you can send it to me. Yeah, I'll take it. Send it to Apostle Ryan Rob as well. But I believe he has it already. Anyway, bear with me. Boom, here we go. Bear with me for a minute. So anywhere we went, we got fame. People knew about us. Hey, look, the very first scripture, Genesis 45, verse 16. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph, brethren, are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. So we're always associated with fame. We're more famous than you believe. Joshua, what is this? Joshua 6, verse 27. So Yahweh was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country. All the media outlets, they know about us. As a matter of fact, there was one guy years ago, he was a media guy, I forget his name. And we had a little quick discussion because he tried to make me look bad. I forget the guy's name, but he was famous at that time. I forget his name. And he says, you know about us, you know about the Israelites. And he didn't say nothing. Then he said, yeah, we know all about you. I said, so why don't you put us on your news outlets? He said, because it's not time. It's not time. And I'm talking over 20 years ago. Joshua 9, verse 9. And they said unto him from a very far country, thy servants are come because of the name of Yahweh, thy power, For we have heard the fame of him. These were Canaanites, if you read the whole account, and all that he Yahweh did in Egypt. First Kings 4, verse 31. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, than Ezra, right, and Heman, and Shakol, and Derba, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all nations round about. Let me oh yeah, by the way, let me just say this. Maccabees TV, which is priest Daniela, Dawada, you can send me the email. I almost forgot your name, man. I'm getting old. Okay, so this is King Solomon, right? First Corinthians, first Jack Daniel 7, Jack Daniel chapter 7, verse 2. Inside joke. First King 4, verse 1, Solomon's officials. So King Solomon was king over all Israel. So that's the order. I'm not going to read this whole. Okay, Solomon's power, wealth, and wisdom. Yahweh and Yasha'Allah were many as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. Because that was 40 years of a piece of the kingdom of heaven. But the kingdom of heaven is going to be even greater than Solomon's kingdom. And we do know that Solomon is Yahweh Shai. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms. Listen at this. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. Man, Solomon was living good. Can you imagine having 1,000 women? And they were all young women. And by the way, they were all, when he got with each and every one of them women, they were all virgins. All of them were virgins. So they were young women. You guys out there, you men out there in among Israel, the custom and the law was when a man got a woman, he got a woman when she was 11, 12 years old. 13 was considered getting old. You got them when they were 11, 12 years old. And you guys got so emotional about it, especially, well, not especially you, but Al-Azhar, you got emotional about it with the whole, Deuteronomy 22, verse 28 and 29. You guys got emotional about it, man. And you're going to be found guilty of, not dealing with the whole law pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, Deuteronomy 4th chapter, the 6th chapter, Proverbs 30, Revelation of 22, verse 18 and 19. You're taken away from the law. Anyway, it says, 29th verse, and the Most High gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, meaning mind, even as the sand that is on the seashore. So you can say Solomon had infinite wisdom. There's accounts where it said he was able to communicate with the animals. To give you a movie, Lawnmower Man, the first one. The second one was crap. Lawnmower Man, which Gabar, if you mentioned Apostle Gabar, you mentioned Lawnmower Man, he gets a smile on his face because he saw the movie and was showing you this guy named Job, how he was real feeble-minded, and the scientist was working on him, and he made his intelligence great, and he became so intelligent that his intelligence exceeded the scientist. You know, his whole demeanor changed. It says, in Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the East country and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men. Clearly, he was the wisest man on the planet Earth at that time. Now, Yahushua said, I believe that's Matthew 12, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to go to it. Somebody can put it in the comment section. He said, and here's one standing here that is greater than he. What did Yahushua mean by that? He said, Solomon was great, wise, wisdom, infinite wisdom, but the Lord Yahushua said, I'm greater than him. Why did he say that? Because he is Solomon, but this time he came perfect. He wasn't going to go off. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, than Israelite, and Heman, and Chakol. You know what I'm going to do? Let me click on this. Let me look up some of these names. Let me look up Heman. Heman meaning faithful, or Ha-ya-man. A wise man to whom Solomon was compared, son of Joel, grandson of Samuel, and a Levite singer, and author of Psalms 88. A seer, a prophet. So this man was a prophet. Let me go to Psalms 88. The advantage of having a blue letter. They go off, so sometimes. Okay, a petition to be saved from death. Oh yeah, you can save yourself from death. I'm not going to read the psalm. I'll read it later. So the description say he was a seer, which means a prophet, someone that sees in the future. I lost my spot. Give me a second. Okay. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, than Israelite, than Heman, than Chalcol, and Darba, the sons of Mahu, and his fame, Solomon's fame, was in all nations round about. So when Solomon came on the scene, when he was coronated to be the king, his fame went out there. You had the account of Queen of Sheba, which was Makeda. They got this fable that they had sex. No, they didn't. They didn't have sex. He didn't have no son. They didn't have no son together. Stop that bullshit. What was that? Damn, where the hell is that? Let me try it this way. Oh, Queen of Sheba, she was a hoe. She was nothing but a damn hoe. She engaged in this thing called polyandry, which means many men. You know, she had, just like Solomon had many women, she had many men that were servants that were popping her. There's ain't no way Solomon gonna pop her. She used and abused, man. That bitch was an inside out porcupine. Okay, it says well, there's a lot of references to the Queen of Sheba. It was 1 Kings 10 verse 1. I thought it was 1 Kings 11 verse 1, but it's 1 Kings 10 verse 1. And when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name, concerning the name of Yahweh, so the name of Yahweh was magnified, she came to prove him with hard questions. Let me click on that. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train with camels that bear spices, and spices in general is very expensive, but it was even more expensive than pure back then. And so she bared many gifts. A train is a caravan with gifts on it, and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, and see this guy, damn, not Abu, but vocab. You know, you bashing your brain trying to figure this shit out, and pretty much you're helping us. You know, because this guy Alazar kept praising you, you know, for the work, the scholarly work that you did in finding this book. Was actually Abu Kamar that found the book, so they were going into the book. So, and that made us do videos. I did like a couple of quick. I said a few words on it, not too much. But what we're planning on doing today, most high willing, is go through the whole Deuteronomy 28, the 28th chapter, and try to do a thorough breakdown on it, which that'll take some time. It says, and she came to, because this is a spiritual thing. See, you open up a Pandora's box. You open up Pandora's box. You just open up another portal, because we didn't know that there was a book that Abba wrote called Marks of a Lost Race. And when you guys are reading it, and then Alazar came back and he went through pretty much the whole book. It was over almost 6 hours of the video one, young men, they can, they can be up like that, and we do 3 hours and we're ready to go to sleep, the apostles. But we can do 5. We used to do the marathon classes. They'll tell you about them bishops from Connecticut. And we used to do shows. We used to start at 9 at night and go to like 5 in the morning. When the boys started chirping, anyway, it says second verse, 1 Kings 10, verse 2. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, which is Yahweh, if you read the scriptures on Solomon, the breakdown that we go through concerning David's, did David call his son that came out of his loins, my Lord? And from the Hebrew, Adawan, or Adawan. The so-called Jews say Adonai, which means like landlord, somebody that's over you in rank. So why would King David call his son my Lord? That's in, was that Psalms 110? And then he said, sit thou. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go to that real quick because I want to go to the commentary just to see what they say. Bear with me for a minute. I'm a little all over the place, but that's how I get down. Let me do it this way. Come on. Go. Blue letter. Okay. What is that? 2 Samuel 7. And 14. I'll start at 12. 2 Samuel 7, verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, this is Nathan the prophet talking to David, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. I will set up thy seed after thee. He had many seeds. The seed that sat on the throne was Solomon, in which they wanted Adonijah to be king, which he was more like David. He was more of a warrior. It said instead of Solomon, he was like a peaceful man. He was laid back. Which shall proceed out of thy bowels. He's talking about Solomon, and I will establish his kingdom. Are you listening, Vocab Malone? He shall build an house for my name, Yahweh, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. What does the word forever mean? It means forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. The word is I walam. I walam means, I say, long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, 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 ever, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world, ancient time, long time, forever, always. Stevie Wonder sung a song in the lyrics, Always. That was As. I believe that was As. Great, great song, man. Great song. Stirs the spirits. Continuous existence, perpetual, meaning forever, everlasting, indefinite. Finite means something that has an end. Indefinite meaning not having an end, or unending future, eternity. So let's come back. Excuse me. Where am I at? Okay, boom. It says, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Did not, the kingdom of Solomon was 40 years. So that's far from forever. The kingdom is still here, but it's on pause. It's suspended. Just like you get a suspended license, and that happened to me. Oh, your license is suspended for 30 days. And what I would do is I would say, I need a special paper because I have to go back and forth to my job. I got to go see my grandmother. I got to do this. So I would put in about 50 different places that covered my ass. So if the cops pulled me over, I brought out the paper. They looked at the paper. Oh, okay, you're, because they didn't really regulate that too tough. And then until I got my license back, then they said, okay, your license is hereby restored. That doesn't mean they revoked my license. They just put it on suspension. So guess what? Solomon's kingdom, after 40 years, was suspended for a couple of thousand years. For over, we're talking something like 2,800 years, almost 2,000, almost 3,000 years. The kingdom been suspended. The kingdom is still here, it's just been suspended, man. And the house, when he came back, he built, the house that he built when he came back as Yahushua was Israel. He shall build a house for my name, Yahweh, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever, and I will be his father. Behold, this is my son, in whom I am well pleased. He was talking to Solomon in the form of Yahushua. The transfiguration in Matthew's 17th chapter. You saw Elijah and you saw Moses. He was over Elijah and Moses. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Those were the Romans. Dogs have compassed me about in Psalm 22. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, because did not Solomon go off? Got then right, he went off. He basically became a witch, a warlock, whom I put away before thee. So the Most High will have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth. That's why there's no mercy for the Edomites. You know, I was watching a video with this clown, Rakar Shayar. Somebody had called in concerning Esau, and this guy, Rakar, just cursed the dude out, and he really got the guy off the air quick because he didn't want to deal with it. And a lot of things came to my mind. And I said I was going to do a video, but the Spirit said, if you do a video and you show any parts of that, he'll do a copyright claim on, because he when you watch that video, I believe it's A Gathering, his latest video, or one of his latest videos, you'll see it, man. It says, but my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee, and thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever. There it goes again. Look up the word forever, the Hebrew word ayalam. Before thee, thy throne shall be established forever, ayalam, according to all these words and according to all this vision. So did Nathan speak unto David. I'm not going to read anymore, but this goes hand in hand with Hebrews, the first chapter. You know, he said, this is my son. Let me go to that real quick. Hebrews 1. Let me. You really got to start from the first verse, but you know, it says, second verse, have in these last days spoken unto us by his son. Who was his son? Solomon. How did when what form did Solomon come back in? Because reincarnation is biblical. Vocab Malone, all right? Whom he hath appointed heir of all things, which is Solomon, by whom also he made the worlds. Who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins. There it goes again. Purged our sins. Let me look up the word purge. Because Sakai was teaching you got to keep the law perfectly. No. We're imperfect. We broke one law, we're guilty of all. So we needed a sacrificial lamb. Let me look up the word purge.
G 25:12. Katarismas. Katarismas.
Kata ismas means a cleansing, purification, a ritual, purgation or washing of the washing of the Jews before and after their meals, a Levitical purification of women after childbirth, right? The male child, 40 days, and a woman child, 80 days. So she couldn't come to the temple for that time period until she was purified. A cleansing from the guilt of sin wrought by the expiatory sacrifice of Yahushua. Good definition right there. Good definition. We need the Savior because we broke at least one law, so we're guilty of all. James, I believe that's James 2:13, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, coming back over here, I'm a little all over the place, but that's all right. There's lessons within lessons. It speaks about in the second verse how the Queen of Sheba bare many gifts. Third verse, and Solomon told her all the questions. There was not anything hid from the king, which he told her not. And when the Queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom and the house that he had built, and he didn't actually build a house, it was a Canaanite that was a master builder, named what's his name? Hiram, the Canaanite. He was also he also headed the navy of Solomon that went back and forth to the Americas. Did you know that, vocab Malone? That they knew about the Americas and the meat of his table and the sitting of his servants. And for you people that oh, you can't eat meat. Well, Solomon, the wisest man at that time, really at all times, he ate meat. And the attendance of his ministers and the apparel of his cupbearers. So you had, we were on a higher level back then. And the Most High is going to bring us back on that high level, that high, good example is a movie, the first movie, Coming to America, where we show Eddie Murphy, it was women bathing him, and somebody brushing his teeth, and women putting rose petals before him. You know, that's how we're going to live plus 1,000. And all Esau, despite with Rakar of the GOCC, Gok says he's pushing that Edomite thing, man. He's pushing that Edomite thing, and not one Edomite is going to make it. He says some of them is going to believe in Christ, so they're going to have Edomites working the field, but they're going to have some Edomites just standing by, not doing too much or doing very little. No, they're going to be in hardcore slavery. We was in hardcore slavery. They're going to be the elder shall serve the younger. It happened already under King David and King Solomon, and it's going to happen again now. And their apparel and his cupbearers and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of Yahweh, there was no more spirit in her. She asked so many questions, and that's what happens to us. We got people that watch us on YouTube. Well, these guys over here, I'm gonna come and confront them, and they'll have their precepts together. Then they'll ask all these questions. Then after a while, they get quiet. They don't have any question. Then they start listening. That's why so many Jakes are coming out of that damn Christianity, because when you compare Israelism, as Vocab so passionately puts it, Vocab Malone, compare it to that Christianity, they pale in comparison. They ain't on our level, man. You're dealing with the real thing inside Job. And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believe not the words until I came and she didn't come, if you know what I mean. There was no sex involved. Somebody might say, see, she came. Solomon made her come. You damn clowns. And mine eyes had seen it, and behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. And that's how we're going to be. We're going to be super famous. We're famous now on a low level. Like I said, now going back to Al-Azhar made a couple of statements. He said, he had quoted what Vocab said about Abba taught Ariyah taught Tahar, and Tahar taught Al-Azhar. All right. Damn, my memory track. Anyway, he made that statement, right? Damn, I hate when that shit happens. This is what happens when you get old. He made that statement, right? Not realizing that you can say that's the case. When Abba came on the scene, Al-Azhar agrees, we all agree that Abba is Elijah, because I even asked on his page. I mean, I already knew the answer, but I said, for the record, do you believe that Abba Abba is Elijah? He said, of course. And I said, that's why I said for the record. right? So now, if you go to Malachi 4, what does it say about I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and terrible, dreadful day of the Lord? It says in the 6th verse, and he shall turn the fathers to the children and the children to the father, lest I smite the earth with a curse, right? What does that mean? Alazar really never went into it. But my question is this: since you believe, for the record, that Abba Bivens is Elijah coming back, the part where it says, and he shall restore, he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the children to the father. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm gonna tell you what it means. I'm not gonna wait for your answer. It means, just like Vocab said, Abba taught Ariyah, Ariyah taught Tahar, and Tahar taught Alazar. That's what Vocab said, and you reiterated that statement that he made. So who are the ones that Abba taught? Is Ariyah part of that, part of the 6th verse? Malachi 4 verse 6. And if that's the case, if he's part of it, yes, he's part of it. Then what about Mo? Is that King David? And what about Yahweh? That's the question. That's what you got to get into. Anyway, let me come back. Let me get back into this. Okay, there's a button. You know how many times fame come up in the scriptures? 24 times in 24 verses. I'm not going to read all of them. But let me jump. Okay, it says in Matthew 4 verse 24, and his fame, which is Yahushua's fame, went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. Matthew 9 verse 26, and the fame whereof went abroad into all that land. So anywhere we went, we became famous. Anything we do, we become famous. All these great athletes and great actors and singers and rappers, we all had humble beginnings, man. You know, people praise us as gods. Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant. The whole nation mourned when Kobe Bryant, passed. We do great things because we are great people. We are the Israelites. What great thing, what great people are coming out of the so-called land of the small hats? If they're the great people of the Most High, the scriptures speak about us being a special people, a peculiar nation, which means special. If we're special, we above all the nations, right? Right? So shouldn't all the top athletes come out of the land of the small hats? Shouldn't all the top singers come out of all the genre of music come out of the land of the small hats? They don't. They can't compare. Just telling the truth. That's why you devils are losing sleep. That's why Vocab Malone and Abu Kamar, and I'm gonna say this for the record, Abu Kamar came up against us. He had I don't know if he still has it on YouTube, Truth After Knowledge, back in like the end of 2007. And then vocab came on the scene in 2016. So they're part of the same group. Matthew 9, verse 31. But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. It says Matthew 14 and 1. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahushua. Anything that we do, we become famous. We excel. And just based upon that shows that we're the Israelites. Nothing's coming out of the land of the small hats. Mark 1, verse 28. And immediately his fame spread abroad throughout all the region round about Galilee. Luke 4, verse 14. And Yahushua returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. Luke 4, verse 37. And the fame of him went out into every place of the country round about. Luke 5, verse 15. But so much the more went there a fame abroad of him, Yahushua, and great multitudes came together to hear and to be healed by him of their infirmities. So if the Most High grants us with spiritual power, people are going to find out where we at. And they're going to be lining up to get healed. Zephaniah is talking about us, the men of the Lord. Zephaniah 3, verse 19. Behold, at that time, I will undo all that afflict thee, because now we're being raised up. We're being magnified now. And I will save her that halted and gather her that was driven out, which represent Israel. We were dispersed. And I will get them, the Israelites, starting with the elect, praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. So every place that we've been put to shame, we've been on the bottom, we're going to be magnified. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.